I feel like in my conversations with folks over the last few years, it's like when I ask them about comfort movies or great comedies, it's like it's Step Brothers and Bridesmaids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Step Brothers too. So to be part of in the same, like that is, again, so a film I'll turn on and be like, this scene, I love this bit, oh my God, it's so funny.
Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, Sad, Confused begins now.
Hey guys, it's Josh. Welcome to another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Today's main event, first-time guest on the pod, Rose Byrne. How is that possible? One of our great actors. She can do it all. Comedy, drama, and a little bit of both. In her current film, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, it is justifiably getting a lot of awards attention for Rose. That is the main event on today's edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Keeping busy, as always, over here. Can you guys, if you're watching on video on YouTube, can you see how adorable my Lucy is behind us? There's a lot going on. As always, check out our Patreon. That's where you're going to get all the information. Patreon.com/happysadconfused. Support us over there if you can. If you like what I do, truly it helps me make more of what I do. But in terms of events, I'm going to be all over New York Comic Con, as I usually am, hosting, among other things, get a load of this, a 10th anniversary panel for Mr. Robot. We are reuniting Sam Esmail, the creator, with Rami Malek and Christian Slater. I should say also tickets for New York Comic Con, I believe, are still available. The link's in the show notes. Reserve your seating at these panels if you can, because they are going to be packed. I'm doing stuff with Sigourney Weaver, with James McAvoy, with Lawrence Fishburne, a Star Trek panel. Lots of cool stuff. I'm so stoked. It's going to be a wild weekend in New York City. So look forward to that. Also doing my thing at the 92nd Street Y. Aziz Ansari, October 12th for his new film, Good Fortune. It's great. We're going to screen the movie. Check that out. And October 24th, there might be a few tickets available. There might not. I don't know. For Nobody Wants This. The Netflix show is back. We're getting the entire cast together. That's going to sell out if it's not sold out already. So get in on that if you can. All right, back to Rose. I'm going to throw this conversation. I got a chance to catch up with her in New York City. She's a delight. She's just a very sweet, cool person. I'm totally obsessed with her and Bobby Cannavale, one of those like New York actor couples that I think is just like too cool. Not too cool for school. They're just cool enough. I actually got a chance to see Bobby in Art, which is currently on Broadway. Little plug for that. And yeah, Rose has been killing it for so long. She's one of those actors I think we take for granted because she can do drama. She can do franchise stuff, whether it's X-Men, etc. Sunshine, one of the classics. And she's also, I don't think it's like, a secret anymore. She's one of our great comedy stars. Neighbors, Bridesmaids, Platonic, so many great projects. And this film, actually, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, has a little bit of everything. It is very darkly comedic. I say darkly because it is. It's an intense movie, but it is a wild ride. I highly recommend it. It's out October 10th from A24. It's from director Mary Bronstein. And it really gives Rose a front and center leading performance that she deserves. And she absolutely aces it. She plays a mom dealing with a lot, dealing with a kid that's dealing with some health issues and just hanging on by a thread, like we all are in different ways. It also co-stars, I should say, A$AP Rocky and Conan O'Brien. I know, the most eclectic, odd cast in cinema maybe going today, but they're all great. Honestly, this is a really impressive piece of work by everybody. So I highly recommend it. And yeah, without any further ado, let's go to my first podcast conversation. I've interviewed Rose over the years, but this is her first deep dive on the podcast, and I'm so glad it happened for this one. Enjoy me and Rose Byrne.
Hi, Josh. Nice to see you.
Hi, Rose. How's it going?
I'm great.
It's
great.
good to see you.
Nice to see you.
You've never done the podcast, Rose.
I know, and I was just chatting about that, and now I'm very excited, and you're lovely, and I know you, so I'm very happy to be here, and that you saw the movie.
This is for a very good cause.
Yes,
you are
incredible.
You are amazing in this film. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Would you do you put this above your character in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem or below?
Equal footing.
That was
Equal footing.
Leatherhead, a mutant alligator.
Pivotal role.
Was it an Australian mutant alligator?
Australian mutant alligator, loosely based on some of like Paul Hogan's early work, Eric Barner's early work. So, there's a lot of subtle references in there.
Okay. Excellent. Is that a favor for
It was basically a favour for Seth. I'll say it for you. And also him just exploiting my Australian accent and making me sound, as ridiculous as possible. But
You're a willing participant in that kind of thing, though.
we're a finely oiled machine, Seth and I. So it was very funny, and the whole vision of that thing was so original and punk. But we digress. Anyway, another pivotal role in my career.
This is a big moment. You've had a lot of big moments. You're one of those like actors who I feel like if you go back, there are like 7 different points where it's like Rose Byrne has finally arrived.
Oh God,
it's all happening for Rose.
Thank you. Well, look, that's why it's important to never take it too seriously, because you're like, I think I've had this conversation before, but this movie's so singular, so I'm so excited. People are finally seeing it. It's really exciting to just hear people's takeaway from it, and really special.
Okay, so let's give them a little context on this. I would imagine the experience of this is very singular for a number of reasons. You're working, there's no substitute for working with like a writer, director in, a relatively short time span. This is a 27-day shoot, it's shot on film. It's intense in many ways. And you've been doing like a lot of TV, probably longer stuff recently. So was this like a nice palate cleanser? Makes it sound like an easy gig. It's probably not that, but it is a different kind of thing than you've been doing lately.
It really was. To your point, I had been doing a lot of long form storytelling with TV, with physical and with platonic, and it was fantastic to return to this medium. And when you go into a movie with A24, who are such a fantastic, who really support artists and visionaries, and they're always pushing for that. And I knew it would be special, and then meeting Mary Bronstein, the writer director, and reading the script, which was just like fire. It was so incredible, and very much a reflection of the film you see. It's very visually descriptive. So I knew it was special, and a really an opportunity for just a creative experience that I hadn't had before.
So this is a woman who's barely hanging on.
Linda.
Or Linda. I mean, look, it's. I know you're talking to a lot of journalists, and I'm sure people that have kids, don't have kids, and I don't have kids myself, but it resonates, I think, to anybody living on the planet Earth in 2025.
I think so too.
We're all hanging on by a thread.
Yes, I think so too. I do. I agree. Yeah.
So I mean, does the style of making it mirror the content? I mean, it has such a visceral feel. It really does feel like this couldn't have been a cozy shoot by its nature. I don't know. Give me a sense of sort of like what the environment, what the palpable feel is of digging into this character in this shoot.
As I mentioned, like the script really did read like fire, and it had such visual language in the script. Like, for instance, the hamster sequence is described as Jack Nicholson trying to get through the wall in The Shining. That's the sort of references that were there. Got it. And there's such humor in those references too. Obviously, it's a hamster. It's not, a person. But that's the state that Linda is in, and the tension that Mary is creating with this singular POV of this character, which was so specific, and in a way, the cinematic language she uses is that you don't see a lot of these people in her life. You don't see her husband. You don't see her daughter. It's arresting, and a lot of those choices are sort of taken away from the audience. It's radical, it's a little bit punk. And so that I found, I knew was happening. Obviously, I knew we weren't going to see Delaney Quinn, who is the actress who plays Linda's daughter. But when I saw the film as an audience member, I was so drawn in, and sort of just on a roller coaster with this language Mary uses. She's such a singular director. It's really wild.
Does the way you're shot affect your performance significantly in terms of where the camera is? Do you like to know where the camera is? I mean, I would imagine the nature of these shots, you definitely know where the camera is because it's pretty damn close.
I could hear it. I could hear the film, which was kind of both fantastic and glorious, and what a treat to be working on film and not on digital. But I've mentioned this, but the first day the camera got closer and closer, and then it was here, and I said, "Oh, you're going to be that close? Yeah. Is that how close you're going to be?" And Mary was like, "Yes." And then after that, it became, I like more information rather than less. I want to know what the day is. I want to know how long we've got for each shot, take, how we're going to move in. So I just wanted as much information as I could, because the performance is the film. You know, it's very much like this is her perspective, and the responsibility was not lost on me of not, you always have responsibility. There are no small parts and all that stuff, but it truly was, and it's a personal story to Mary Bronstein as well.
Well, to the point of like the nature of the way it's shot. I mean, I've talked to actors like, I'm talking to like Cillian Murphy, like for Oppenheimer, like those IMAX cameras, they're like in his face. And I feel like so much of acting is just shutting out the noise of just like silencing that part of your brain that's like, there's this whole apparatus around me.
Yep.
Do you find that's the case? That's something that you've just learned over the years?
Totally agree. I think it's a tightrope of being technically proficient and aware, and then absolutely not being aware and trying to do your task, which is perform the scene and acting truthful in, you know, made up circumstances. And that's what it's that balance and that tightrope. And that's where it's such a director's medium in that sense of how they choose to do that. But you can bring all your homework to it and everything, and still it's you don't know what the finished product is going to be. But like I say, even though I knew the camera was obviously very close, I tried to give a range of things. The trick with this performance, or the trap rather, is that she's at one note, and I was so aware of that as soon as I read it and started talking to Mary. I was like, how do we have to
modulate it.
We have to like bring in nuance and all those sorts of things. Yeah.
So how are you, like, friends and family seeing something like this? Like, are you do you warn them on something like this? I mean, they've seen you probably.
They've seen me in so many compromising positions at this point. I've given up. I think they've given up. No, they're excited. My family are very supportive, and they're excited. And we have the New York Film Festival in a couple of nights, so that'll be fun. I'll have some friends there in town. That'll be fun.
How are you generally in taking compliments? Because you're getting a lot of justified praise.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm not great. Like, I'm an Australian. I'm sure, I'm of Irish stock. It's like an anathema to us to be able to do those things. But I'm proud of the film. I think I'm still discovering things about the film myself, and really now through other people's eyes. And that's like, it's wonderful. And it's none of my business how people feel about it, but I'm obsessed with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me what you think. And it's been great because it's so varied from men and women, people with children, people without families. So it's really interesting.
Do you find is there a meta quality when you're making a film like this? Like, you're making a film about someone who's trying to balance everything and just surviving.
Yes.
And then you're going through this exhaustive day, and then you have to come home to 2 kids, husband, and make it all somehow work and stay sane.
I know. It's I mean, gosh, it's boring, but any working parent is doing that. It's absolutely. And what's so fun about this is that it is so far removed from my life. Yeah. So it's such an escape, and it's got nothing to do with me, the person, which is far more dull and not very interesting. But this character is sort of acting out behaviours perhaps we've all thought about, or perhaps we've all imagined in our darkest hours, but hopefully haven't acted upon. But what a gift to sort of be able to do that in a creative sense is very rewarding. Is there something cathartic about getting to yell at Conan O'Brien for money, for your job? Finally, my dream has come true. There's something surreal about it, I must say. And they're both so lovely. So it was a harder thing to, like, particularly with Rocky, because that character is so charismatic and he's very sweet. And I kept having to be so dismissive of him, and obviously I knew why she was doing that, but I did say to Mary, why is she being so mean? She's so mean to him. He's just trying to be nice. He's just trying to get a high. Is that a problem? Have you ever yelled at a therapist in your life? No. Linda does not trust authority. I am the opposite. I could use a bit of that. And she's like all about bucking the system. She's so sort of contrary and anti-establishment, I think, is her core. Right. Her kind of punk rock core. So you mentioned this is going to be at New York Film Festival in a couple days. Yeah. I was looking back to like your history with film and festivals. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe one of the pivot points early on. Did you go to Sundance pretty early on in your career with the movie you did with Heath? Yes, with Heath and I went, and I was really young, like 18 or 19. Yeah, I was a kid. What was that like to, you've been acting for a minute because you were a child actor, but
to come to the States, to come to Sundance, no less, with that. That must have been a moment.
It was a moment, and it was obviously so memorable because it was a tiny little Aussie movie, you know, and it was right before Heath became Heath Ledger. He was really at the precipice of this wildly extraordinary career, tragically short, but packed so much into. And of course, no, it's like a core seminal time in my life and memory. And the festival then was quaint.
Yeah.
And it didn't have the swag bags, and it wasn't overrun with the trappings of this success of a festival can become. And it was quite magical, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I went, I think it was like 2008, and it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was right at the pivot point. It
Yeah.
was just when like the swag suites were starting to come in, and Redford was starting to speak out
Right.
on it.
So we were there, I think we were there in,
You're like 99, I
it was
think.
99. I mean, that was truly, yeah, it was
Glory
truly
days.
a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give me a sense. You are. I was saying before, I caught up with your partner Bobby the other day, who's
Yeah.
killing it on Broadway right
Yes,
now in
isn't
art.
he? Yes.
You're kind of like celebrity New York couple goals. You really are. You guys are awesome in your respective ways. I feel like it's like a battle to the death, you guys, between Matthew Reese and Kerry Russell. That's my other like top tier.
That's
couple.
amazing. We're neighbors, actually.
I figured.
They're
yeah, as much.
awesome. I've seen them. They're in the neighborhood. Yep.
So, but you're a New Yorker. You've been a New Yorker for quite some time. How did
Nearly
this-
20 years, which is terrifying.
Was that through Damages?
Yeah,
Is that
through
when it-
Damages, yeah. I moved here at 27, 28. Yeah, I'm 46, so it's nearly been 20 years. So I think is that when you can say you're a New Yorker
You're a New
after
Yorker.
20?
As a lifer, I grew up in the city. I call you a New
wow,
Yorker.
okay.
You're,
You're a true lifer, yeah.
Congrats.
Yes, which has just gone so quickly. It's bizarre, but yes, I've loved being in the city. We're raising our kids in the city, you know, and it's still, it is not for the faint of heart, particularly since the pandemic. Oh my God,
To ride that out.
that was a ride. That was a ride. But I've continued to love it here and be inspired by it. And I like that, you know, most of my friends really aren't in the business here, and that's great. You know, it's very diverse, whereas, you know, other places, well, LA in particular, can be more of a one-horse town, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, and I know you've talked about like growing up as like a shy kid. Like I was a shy kid too, and I feel like I need to collide with things or else I will cocoon.
Yeah,
And
that's a good.
New York makes you collide with
It really
life.
does. You have to face the city, and you face it all with all its beauty and all its ugliness. And I think that is something I'm attracted to. And I love being able to walk around, and I love. I'm still in a love affair with New York.
So the first, I don't know if it was the very first time you came here, but your first time you spent some time here significantly, it was probably Atlantic Theater Company.
Yes, Atlantic, and that was so, like, again, seminal. Living in the new NYC dorms, like the new, you know, NYU dorms rather, and studying in Atlantic for a summer in 2000 or 99. It was like the same year as Sundance. I think it turned to the 2000 the year after. So I think it was 99. It was so good. Yes.
So for those who don't know, I mean, Atlantic steeped in the work of
Yes,
Mamet.
of David Mamet, and with alumni like Felicity Huffman and Macy and many others. Yeah.
And you've talked before about kind of the practical aesthetics
Yes,
approach.
I was a disciple of practical aesthetics. Yeah, it was brought to Australia by a couple of fantastic acting teachers, and they were Melissa Bruder, and she kind of championed it in Australia, and it became very popular and sort of like a cult status. And I had friends who did it, and in any case, and my goal was I wanted to go do this summer program, and I'd heard so much about it, and I went, and it was so fun and fantastic, and again, made lifelong friends, and yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. Mamet's probably not directly involved. You don't work with him when
He
you're
wasn't there. No, he wasn't there. But they started this school. Yeah,
Right.
They started this kind of, again, as a reactionary thing. I think. Well, from my recollection, you know, they were very much. It's very much about the writer. It's sort of a reaction to the Stanislavski method, and like, well, not the pure Stanislavski, but the sort of the later actor studio type model. This is very a far more cerebral approach, I suppose, in one way. But one could look at it. But I loved it. Yeah.
I mean, when I've heard him talk about it, with Mamet himself talk about it,
Yes.
he's very, he'll just like say the words, essentially.
It's awesome, right?
Strip everything out.
I had a friend once who was in a film of his, and he asked him, he had a small part, and he just asked him a question like, oh, so does my character know X before, they met before? And Mamet was like, I don't know, have you?
Right.
And that's kind of it in a nutshell. But I died. I was like, oh, I love it.
Can you,
I love it.
I mean, you probably have worked with all types, literally every acting approach. You know, who was I talking to the other day? Sean Bean the other day I was talking to. Your Troy co-star.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
Well, he was just talking a little bit about how, you know, obviously he just worked with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes,
famously one very
course.
extreme end of a technique.
Yeah.
And how it doesn't really matter how you get there. It's just like everyone's got their technique.
I have total respect and agree. I think it's such a personal thing.
Yeah.
I think it's wildly. I've worked with all types of people who don't want to rehearse. I worked with Dennis Hopper early on in Australia in this tiny Australian movie, and he didn't want to rehearse. He didn't want to read through. We barely did a read through. It was sort of like a comical effort, but he had disdain for that. And then I've had, you know, other actors who want to, you know, become best friends and want to like live out the relationship that is on the page or whatever. You know, people. It just varies the gamut. So I've sort of seen it all at this point, and I agree with Sean. I think it's whatever. It's the result is what you see. Yeah. And hopefully you don't see the home. Wants to see the homework.
Right.
You know?
It's fun to talk about for these kind of things.
Exactly.
But
you
the
don't want to
homework,
see the homework. Like then you're done.
Where on the spectrum is Nic Cage in the?
He's
he's in his own method.
He's the Nic Cage. He's more an intuitive, sort of unpredictable. Truly the Nic Cage. Yeah.
What's the Nic Cageiest thing you saw Nic Cage do?
I think I've told this story, but we did a press conference, like sort of some typical early on press conference for this movie, knowing. And he was always very professional, very nice, but he turned to me before the press conference and said, "I'm going to try to do this whole thing without saying I or me." And he did.
Of course he did.
He kept going, "When one approaches one's wife." And that's all I remember. I was just going, how's he going to do it? Oh my God, wow.
God. I got to get home to my Komodo dragon and think about this. Yeah, what a man.
Fantastic. It was fantastic. Yeah. And I mean, I
do admire his bravery as an actor. He will do anything. He's
completely and
make a fool of himself, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but God help,
and you forget he's from this family of such legacy and unconventional like thinkers, and that's a huge part of the story that you sort of forget as well. It's like,
so part of your story and coming into your own, I feel like there's like the 1-2 punch like around 2004. It's Wicker Park, which is a big deal probably at the time.
For me
because you're a female lead opposite I think Josh Hartnett at the time. Troy, of course, which for those that don't remember was like a ginormous movie at the time.
A huge film at the time, a big swords and sandals epic. Well, obviously based on the Iliad,
But also made obviously in the old school way, like Wolfgang Peterson,
very old
like
school.
Thousands of extras, I would imagine.
Yes, people being shipped in from Bulgaria. Like it was a lot of stuff going on that I was like, what? But
Did you spend any quality time with Peter O'Toole? That's what I'm most interested in.
Oh, Peter, God bless. I did. He was as entertaining and as, he did not suffer fools. He was incredibly quick-witted, and he had an extraordinary memory and taste, and he was in the seminal film of this genre. He had a legacy, and but he could not have been kinder to me and more welcoming, and would secretly tell me, "You've got the best part in the movie. This part's fantastic. I'd play this part." Like, things like that. He was. And we had these, great scenes together. I actually I did a BBC telly movie with him a couple of years later. So I got to work with him not once but twice. So,
talking about that reminds me of something in relation to the current film, which is that you've been a lead in many films and TV shows, obviously. Mostly in film, though, it's been a co-lead, frankly.
Absolutely.
With a male co-star.
Yes,
Is that like meaningful for you that you are truly the lead? This is your film.
Yes, absolutely meaningful. No one's asked me that. And I've done small roles in big movies, big roles in small movies, like really a gamut. And this is truly absolutely a very singular experience for me creatively. It's true. No one's asked me that, but that's, more on television I've had that opportunity. So this again was really new. Yeah.
Okay, so back to small parts in big movies.
Yes.
I'm contractually obligated as a big old nerd to ask you about Star Wars. I apologize, Rose.
Are you of the Star Wars culture, the cult?
So I feel like you're the only Star Wars character that probably doesn't have an action figure at this point.
It's a tragedy.
Justice for Dorme, right? Let's start the hashtag today.
I mean, to be even a microscopic piece of that universe.
Yes.
Is so sweet how you just resonate and you still are part of this dialogue, this like chain of characters in this film, this universe that resonates with people. It's so wonderful. I've grown to love it. I mean, I worked with the great James Earl Jones, and he, oh my goodness, the people
Did
who
something
would,
on stage with him.
yes, we did a
Yeah.
play together, and the people who would appear out of the woodwork to get his autograph and photo and so on and so forth. But yes, I had a small part as Natalie Portman's handmaiden, Dorme. I had about 1 or 2 lines.
You had 2 lines. I was going to ask you, which do you remember stressing about more? Was it, I'm worried about you, the situation is dangerous?
Yes.
Or, my lady, you're still in danger here?
Oh,
There's a
I
lot
think
to-
the first one. The
Yeah.
first one I feel was more,
There's a lot going on there. I'm worried
Resonant.
about you, the situation is dangerous.
Yes.
It's a fraught situation.
it's a fraught situation. I'm establishing there's a situation and it's fraught. And my feelings about it. And her feelings about it, rather.
Right.
Yes.
I do think, look, Joel Edgerton came back after all these years.
yeah,
So you could
yeah.
still come back. We
I'm
need to do
ready.
more.
I'm ready. I'm ready. No one's called. Maybe after this,
I'm just
they
trying to
will.
give you some work.
Yes, I appreciate it.
You also, again, you've done some really interesting work in genre films. I want to mention, 28 Weeks Later
Yes,
and Sunshine
28
in a second. But
Weeks,
before we
yes.
get to that, like a smaller, kind of odder thing is the X-Men
Yes,
role.
yeah, the X-Men roles. Mm-hmm.
So is that a fond memory? I mean, you don't get maybe the juiciest stuff to do there,
Mm.
but is that, I don't know, what's the indelible memory of making First Class in particular?
Yeah.
Is there a day or moment in that
That was it was fun. I mean, it's such a genre, so you just have to lean into the tropes of it and how fun that is, and the scale of it is very fun. And it was exciting because it was the freshest. It was the reboot. It was like they had done all the Brian
Singer ones, yeah.
version, and then now it was Matthew Vaughn. And so that's exciting. There was a new voice. There was all these incredible young actors. I mean, I was working with Jen Lawrence and Zoe Kravitz and Nick Holt, like all these people who I've now gone on to see, who I was sort of the definitely older than those guys, the elder statesmen at that point probably. And to see these wonderful young, they were 20, 19 kids. And to now see, obviously, all their extraordinary things that they have done, it was very meaningful, yeah.
Sunshine, I love.
Yeah, isn't it great?
adore
Isn't it great? Yeah, people really resonate with that. It's such a great genre, a weird sci-fi. Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, this incredible duo, yeah.
I've talked to Danny over the years about it. It feels like it
Yeah.
it almost broke him in a way. It was a tough
It was
shoot.
tough, yeah, and that was tough on them, I think,
Yes.
on Alex and him, which I think they've spoken about. So I know it was a hard one, but I think it really holds up,
No,
and
totally.
I think it's in the kind of canon of that genre in a really cool way.
Do you remember, was the end stuff in that, was that reshot on the fly or reworked on the fly? Do you have memories of
trying
that
to
being kind of a work in
remember.
progress?
Yeah, it was. I remember doing a lot of the stunts, like Killian and I doing a lot of the stunts together. Michelle Yeoh. I mean, I got to work with Michelle Yeoh, which was or Benny Wong, like Chris Evans, Troy Garrity. Like again, it was a fantastic cast. I remember this. Mark Strong had a very hard, tough deal because he had a lot of
Prosthetics and stuff.
and that's always hard. That's draining, tiring, and but he's such a good actor, and it was really about his performance more than a prosthetic could do.
Yeah. The one franchise that got away seemingly is
Yeah.
Bond. Is that true that you were in the mix? That almost happened?
I believe I was in the mix, but who knows if I was ever really in the mix. But I met.
Was it Martin Campbell back then, or
Yeah,
or Barbara Broccoli?
It was those guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
I met them, but I don't know if I was ever really a
Really?
serious contender.
Did you do a screen test with Daniel Craig back then? Do you-
I can't. Did I read with Daniel? I think I did read with Daniel. Yeah. I mean, it was so long ago, so I can't. But yes, I don't know how serious I was, if I was ever a real contender. But again, that was a very cool reboot. That was the first Daniel Craig, one, and he obviously went on to have such a incredible run with that.
Were you a good auditioner back in the day when you had to do a lot of that, or did you stress? I mean, what was your?
I mean, obviously not that good because I didn't get the
I'm bringing up
part.
the failures. No.
So let's go back through the. No, I think I was hit and miss. I remember a great acting teacher telling me you've got to start the audition as soon as you
Right, walk in the room.
walk into the office to check in to
Right.
go to the audition. That's when you start the performance.
Yes.
And you cannot. And that's it. That's that. So I don't think I ever fully achieved that, but it's good advice.
luckily, you kind of got your Bond thing in thanks to Spy, which
I know, which was supposed to have sort of more films.
every time I see Paul, I mention
Yeah,
he needs to do the
I
follow-up.
know. It's such a bummer it didn't, because people have been, honestly, recently, people seem to be discovering that. It must be on a streamer or something, or on like the page of it, because people are always, right now, seem to be coming up to me about Spy, and it's so funny.
So funny.
It's so funny, and it's, I love it when people mention it, because I think it's great.
When you're at a party, does anybody ever come up to you with a drink and say, like, what a stupid fucking toast?
Yes, they do. I've had that before. It's so dumb. Or your mother looked like a clown or something. Hideous insult that I'm saying to Melissa McCarthy.
Oh my God. I could listen to you talk about your sad
My
mom, your Bulgarian clown for hours on
Bulgarian
end.
clown. Again, so fun. And he just sort of subverted exactly like the Bond genre and made it like a comedic comedic tour de force. It's so fun.
It felt like there were in the first few comedic films you did, there was this kind of narrative that it was like so surprising. Like, how could she have this in her?
Yeah.
And now it's like you have stealthily or not so stealthily like a very consistently amazing comic
Thank you.
performer. I mean, to
Thank
look at
you.
just the body of work and what you've done.
Thank you.
It sounds like this wasn't like necessarily like a stretch. This was what you wanted. Like, this is like an aspect of you that you really wanted to explore actively from the start.
You know, it's funny. I had a really small part in Marie Antoinette, Sofia Coppola's movie, and that role was this like irreverent, sort of indulgent Duchess de Polignac, who sort of corrupts Marie Antoinette and takes her out to drink. But it's a role full of comedy and full of frivolous behaviour, and it's very much a spontaneous way that Sophia works. And I think that also was a real catalyst for me for wanting to explore things after, particularly after doing Damages for 3 seasons. And like any actor, you're trying to constantly, you know that you're going to get offered every serious lawyer part after that, and you have to be a little bit smart about trying to have some agency in charting a course that you hope will work out.
So I guess the turning point, even before Bridesmaids, though, is actually get him to the Greek.
Yes, get him
correct?
to the Greek, yeah.
So did that feel like, again, any actor just needs someone to see something else in them and give you a shot, because otherwise you're acting and you're home.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Friends and family.
You're back home, yeah.
But does that feel like, I mean, do you have palpable memories or indelible memories of being on that set and just sort of like, oh, this is an opportunity?
It felt similar to Marie Antoinette in that sense of like, oh, this is so far from what I have done, what I've been doing on other jobs, and this was such a wildly unconventional character and totally irreverent and self-absorbed, and of this pop star who is kind of like the female version of Russell Brand's character, and how fun that was. The potential of that, wasn't lost on me, no, for sure.
I feel like in my conversations with folks over the last few years, it's like when I ask them about comfort movies or great comedies, it's like it's Step Brothers and Bridesmaids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Step Brothers too. So to be part of in the same, like that is, again, a film I'll turn on and be like, this scene, I love this bit, oh my God, it's so funny.
I was going to ask you, what are your go-tos? Like, what is your Bridesmaids for you?
Oh my gosh, look, definitely Step Brothers. That's one that we definitely return to. What have I've been watching with I have 2 little boys, so there's a couple of comfort movies we definitely return to for that. School of Rock.
Yeah.
We love School of Rock, and that is...
Never underestimate the power of Jack Black to this
No,
this
do
generation.
not.
I mean,
Rue the day that you would do that. And Richard Linklater, for
Yes.
that matter, one of the greats, who is also just constantly reinventing and doing a different genre with his body of work. So School of Rock is definitely up there. Yeah.
So Bridesmaids, I mean, it was a phenomenon at the time, but again, the staying power of it is actually almost more remarkable than what it was even in the moment.
It always is, right? Who knows what's going to be sticky, right, and stay? Yeah.
It must be gratifying, because I would imagine if it's not a daily occurrence, it's pretty close to it that young people come up to you and mention it, don't they?
I love it. It just speaks to the movie, and I mean, talk about to your point of people being surprised about a certain performance or this, but that I was so naive about how people would think that a group of women could be funny. I didn't realize we would be talking about it the whole press tour. I was like, wow. like
How could you all possibly be so funny?
It was bizarre. I was like, I was unprepared for this, and it's like we're a pot of dolphins all of a sudden doing a performance. But no, I cherish that. I mean, I cherish the film and Paul Feig and the incredible women I got to work with, and I have not had an experience like that since because I've never been with 5 other actresses since then, where we're all doing big sequences together. And I hope I do, but.
You're stuck with Seth Rogen instead.
It's just me and Seth, or me and Conan for that matter.
They're all right. But
Yeah.
some women in the mix would be all right too.
It's fascinating to me that's, but it's so, I love that. I cherish the film. I cherish the experience. Yeah.
Is there a line that's quoted to you, whether it's from Bridesmaids or anything close to you? Like, what tickles you? You're in a
my
Starbucks.
gosh.
You get a random.
So I mean, I had a friend the other day trying on some dresses or showing me a dress, and they were like, "It's a Fritz Bernays." So dumb. So silly.
I love it.
That's so good.
I was going to ask you what you're watching. You mentioned just comfort film. Generally, what do you like? Do you watch a lot of film, TV? I mean,
We go through stages. We're always late. We're late to the game.
that's okay.
And that's like shameful, but we are a little bit late. We watch a lot of sports documentaries.
Yeah.
I do. I love watching the football. I find it very relaxing. I love watching the basketball. We just.
If you say the basketball, it makes it less. Your cred goes.
Oh, that's so daggy. That's so daggy. Oh my gosh.
Just trying to help you. for
So
future
thank you,
conversations.
Josh. Oh, good Lord. But we're kind of theatre nerds. Like, we love going out to see a show. But we've started watching Adolescence.
So good.
Yeah, and it's hard. I'm a mother of boys. It is hard.
Yeah.
And I have beautiful nephews in Australia who are that age. But I love Stephen Graham, and
say.
he's so good. So
He's one of these guys that I feel like everybody, like actors knew, critics knew.
Yeah.
Now
Oh, Bobby
the world
always
knows.
loved it. Bobby's the one with the taste. He's like the most discerning of people's performance. He just can smell a great actor and a bad one too at that. He's so good, and he's always been a fan of Stephen. Yeah.
You guys haven't been shy about working together, which
No.
I find fascinating.
I love collaborating with him. I think initially I was always nervous to do that with a partner, but we just sort of dove in, and it's been really rewarding and really fun.
Yeah.
And like on a boring level, like you're on the same schedule, so it's like kind of that is taken care of. So we've had good luck with that.
Do you come at acting in the same way? Like we were talking about technique earlier.
Yeah.
Do you have much different process? I mean, you've seen him up close, like in the workplace and at home, so you know what he does.
Yeah, I ask way more questions. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And he's way more just all sort of id. And he's like, comes at it as you can imagine, and he has just incredible intuition, and he can tell the temperature of a room and a person in like 5 seconds. He'll have your number. And I think that's how he approaches the work. But he's also really creative. He has ideas. But I think that's what he would say, or what he said in the past anyway.
Some random stuff for you. Okay, you look at a script. What's a deal breaker for you? What's a turn off or turn on? Like, what do you see in a script?
Oh my! If she's going to take her clothes off by the second, I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, really? Okay. That's tough. That's a tough one.
Is that for you personally, or generally? Why does the woman need to take?
Yeah.
it?
Why? And maybe there's a great reason. Like, God, who cares? It's just a human body. Like, blah blah. But I am just sensitive to that, and I'm like, I've had so many bad scripts where it's just like for absolutely no reason, and I'm like, and it's not. It can absolutely make sense. I will say that. But yeah, I'm always like, really? Okay, why is this? For what reason? Can you tell me? So that's probably one. Or if they describe, she's a really complicated woman, or some wildly generic sort of description like that. Is like, oh, really, is she? Oh my God! Thanks for letting me know.
Well, I mean, you did
But
kind
she's
of.
not complicated. She's not a complicated
Very-
woman. She's a really not a
She likes
complicated
to take
woman.
off her clothes.
Yeah. She just walks around nude. She loves it. She's very European.
But I mean, again, kind of connecting it to this film, like
Yeah.
in the complexity of a role like this. I mean, like you had to kind of probably weather the storm of like an actress specifically in their 20s, 30s.
Oh, yeah.
The shit that you probably saw.
Absolutely. absolutely.
The wife roles,
Yes,
the girlfriend roles,
yes,
the sex bot
yes,
roles.
of course, particularly in comedy. You know, there's so many tropes with the woman being the nag and the woman being like, I don't want to have fun, you know. And I was so lucky because I had these sort of North Stars of Paul Feig and you know, even Sophia back when I did Marie Antoinette, of like really giving opportunities to women in ways that was not the usual sort of source material. Yeah.
Speaking of filmmakers that you admire or have worked with or wanted to work with, I mean, there's some great Australian filmmakers that have, I guess, eluded you. I don't know if you've ever like come close, but like I think of like the Baz Luhrmanns, the George Millers.
Oh my gosh, the George Millers. I know.
Have you ever talked to other?
I haven't, no, but I am such a huge admirer, and they're such both. You know, I mean, Peter Weir, he's extraordinary. Obviously, he's in the that a different part of his career now, but no, there's incredible Australian luminaries, and for that matter, great Australian cinematographers that have like gone on and had wildly successful careers. But I've been, a fan from afar for sure.
Is it true you grew up not an Australian, but the late great David Lynch was somebody that you had a lot of reverence
he was.
for?
So when I first got to LA, my agent made me write a list of directors, and he was the top. And I got to meet him, and I went to his house, and he was a lovely gentleman, just as you would imagine, button up, high hair, smoking a cigarette, kind of pitching me this incredible story. And we saw a short film with Naomi Watts with rabbit ears on and Laura Lena hair. It was fantastic, and he was just such a beautiful man. Even this brief meeting I had, but didn't get the part. So I didn't. I'm not sure. I think it might have been the early seeds of that film, I guess, perhaps, but. He was, I was a nobody, you know. I came into town as like young Aussie chick, and he was he was lovely.
What was it for you growing up then? Was it Twin Peaks or Blue Velvet or just all of?
It was Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks was my introduction, and then I just went down the whole, obviously, canon of his movies, and they're all my favorite films. I love them. Yeah.
I had a conversation with him over Zoom a few years ago.
Oh, you did?
And it was like
wow.
one of the highlights of my life of just hearing him say, "Hey, buddy."
I mean, and what directors have then become to become a, how do you put it,
like a descriptor.
He's
Lynchian.
Yes, he's Lynchian. Who can have coined a phrase where your name immediately generates an atmosphere and a style? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not many. You know, Hitchcockian. But like,
totally.
He's that. Yeah. He's that, and he'll stay forever. Yeah.
How is your Seth Rogen impression at this point?
Terrible. I'm not good at guys. I'm not that good at guys. But I should be able to do him better because we've spent so much time together. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a go-to? I won't put you on the spot unless you want to. But female impressions? It sounds like you have a few. At a party, I get a couple drinks in you. What do you do?
No. Oh my gosh. I wish. No. I don't. I actually don't. I don't. No. I'm more like Stranger in the Street. I could do, but not so much. Do your best, Jennifer Coolidge or something. I'm not that good at that.
It does feel like that Platonic in its second season, currently going, is like hitting its stride in terms of the audience has really found it.
It's been lovely. It's so nice. It's the thing with TV, right? You have to give it time and you got to let it breathe, and it just it finds its place, finds its audience. And this season, I think, is stronger than the first. They were so good at really writing for the strengths of the first season and the opportunity you get, to have another go at it. So it's been lovely. It's been really lovely, and people have genuinely, a lot more people have discovered it, which has been great. And it's a great hang show, It's nice.
Is there anything that we need to secret into the universe for you? Are you wanting for any kind of work that I can help you with?
Why? Do you have some kind of hotline
Stranger
to
things have happened on the podcast.
What have you got?
Who's listening or watching.
Oh, really? Oh my
saying.
gosh. But as soon as you say it, then it's not going to come true. I'm too superstitious.
Okay.
I'm way too superstitious, too Australian.
Do you do the kind of thing still, just like the general meeting with a filmmaker you admire? Is that ever
of course, no. I absolutely, no. Gosh, if there's someone, no, you have to seek out. You've got to seek out. You have to reach out. You cannot rest on your, like you say, there's so many moments.
Yep.
How do you use them? You have to seek, for sure. Constantly be curious, constantly seek out. You have to try to have your own agency, for sure.
Totally. We're going to end with this. It's a tradition for Happy Sad Confused. Our profoundly random questions, Rose. You ready?
Oh, no, I'm not.
You ready?
No, I'm not.
You got this. Oh, no. The eyes go cross-eyed.
Good Lord. Okay.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
You guys have some?
No, God no. But I grew up with a border collie called Emma, and she was my North Star. I loved her. Yeah.
Do you collect anything?
I kind of collect, like, this is so girly, like baskets, like sort of those beautiful, like raffia baskets.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I have a lot of those, to the point where I'm like, I think I'm unofficially collecting these.
I'm now a hoarder, apparently.
I love a basket, yeah.
Favorite video game of all time from your youth? Did you ever play a game?
And I only ever really played Mario Brothers, but it's never been my thing, really, yeah.
This is the Dakota Johnson Memorial question. She asked me this. Would you rather have a mouthful of bees or one bee in your butt?
A mouthful of bees or one bee in my butt? Oh, good Lord. Well, I guess, I don't know. Looking at this gentleman here, that's a pass. I don't want either of those things.
Blame Dakota. What's the wallpaper on your phone?
Oh, it's my mum and dad.
Very sweet.
It's Jane and Rob. Yeah, Jane and Rob.
What's the biggest moment for them seeing you in your career? Was there a premiere? Was there an actor that you introduced them to? Was there? They're so low key that they're funny. They're like so Australian and low key, but they're like the best people because they're so curious. So they just ask a lot of questions. They're so interested in things outside of their own world. They're very open-minded. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Last actor you were mistaken for?
Oh, someone came up to me and said, I loved you in Jackie. I said, thank you very much. I said,
just take the compliment.
Thank you.
Always.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to take that compliment.
What's the worst note a director has ever given you?
Oh, good Lord. Well, a director once gave me a note from their trailer in bed.
It wasn't so much the note, but how
Exactly
it was delivered.
how it was delivered. I was like, okay. With several, like, there was a lot of assistance around the bed, but I was summoned in, and that was pretty weird. Yeah. They remain nameless, but yes.
I think I can make a guess off camera.
Yes.
Okay. In the spirit of happy, sad, confused, an actor who always makes you happy. You see them on screen, you're instantly in a better mood.
Oh, who makes me happy? Julia Louis-Dreyfus makes me happy. Albert Finney makes me happy. Yeah.
Movie that makes you sad?
Oh, a movie that makes me sad? The Black Stallion. Yeah. I mean, sad, happy, sad. A little bit happy, sad because of the ending.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the Black Stallion. I love, yeah.
And finally, most importantly, a food that makes you confused. You don't get it. Why do people eat that?
Slimy mushrooms.
Oh, I hate mushrooms
Yeah,
generally, but the slimy kind.
mushrooms. And also, this is going to be controversial, but raw fish.
Not a sushi lady.
No, I can't do the texture.
Okay.
It's very unsophisticated.
No, we were...
Deeply unsophisticated. So don't give me slimy mushrooms and raw fish.
No, you're a classy lady. Don't worry. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the movie.
Thank you so much.
If I had legs, I'd kick you. Everybody check it out. It's an amazing collaboration. You and Mary Bronstein. She does an amazing job.
Josh. Thank you.
I'm glad it gave us an occasion to catch up today.
Thank you.
For indulging me.
No, you're such a mensch. Thank you.
I'll see you next time.
I'll see you soon.
And so ends another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Remember to review, rate, and subscribe to this show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a big podcast person. I'm Daisy Ridley, and I definitely wasn't pressured to do this by Josh.